over 10 p.m., but don't leave because it's getting so good. We have 2 more stories. First one is by Willow Green, and you can find her on Instagram at WG Mindscaper, and her story is titled Take My Name. Woo!
Thank you, Enid, and hello, everyone. So, I was actually born Jennifer Stacy Kyle. My mom loved the name Jennifer, but not the name Jenny. And Stacy Jennifer didn't sound right. Sorry. It's okay. Started dig on you, I promise. So, I was named Jennifer Stacy. Did I say Stacy Jennifer didn't sound right? I did. And called Stacy for my entire life. So I was born with this story, always explaining who I was, never actually having a true identity. The first day of school, the first time I met everyone, I had to tell that story. And it seemed like I was always trying to prove myself, always trying to show up. Never really sure who I actually was. And this seemed to be the seed that started this weird trajectory in my life. When I was in 5th grade, I moved to a new school. At this time, 3 different schools were funneling into one. So I wasn't just the new kid at school. I was the new kid with no group, no tribe, just there. No identity, just this weird story about my name that I had to tell the first day of school all the time. And when I met people, and when I got a job, and everything, it just seemed to be my story. It took me a while, but I found a way to fit in, until I was about 15. When I was 15, something happened. And that's a whole nother story in itself. But that thing that happened was the first time I ever thought about suicide and started really pondering suicide. I'm really going down this really ugly path, exploring alcohol, exploring drugs. And my mom, being the nurse that she was, took me to the doctor. And the doctor gave me more labels. So not only did I just have this story, now I'm bipolar, now I'm depressed, now I'm ADD, and now I'm this, and now I'm that, and now I have all these other stories to tell, to explain myself, which didn't make sense. But I took them on, I took the pills, I did what I was told, because I didn't know any other choice. And then I would just sit there in silence for a while, in my depression, and my bipolar, and my crazy, and I learned something really powerful. People made excuses for me. If I didn't want to show up, I was having a bad day or a moment or a depression, and they all made excuses, and it was like a free pass. So I started playing this game. This is a great way to have a free pass to get away with anything I wanted. Oh my God. These stories are excellent for manipulating people and getting anything I want. And getting out of anything I want. It was awesome. It was awesome until it stopped being a game and started being my identity. And I took on this crazy path of addict, bipolar, depressed, nuts. I was Baker-acted at 21. I learned from all the other people in there how we can manipulate even more, so it's kind of a catch-22. Like, they put you in a group with all these people, and you get to learn more from them. So I'm like, I got out. I played the game a little more. I learned how to play it better. Because when you go into these places, you actually master your game. You master your skills, and you increase them. And this worked again for about a few more years until I was 30. When I was 30, I hated who I had become. So again, at that point, I washed down 2 bottles of pills, one being Adderall, with a bottle of vodka, hoping my heart would explode. Clearly, it didn't. Couldn't even do that right. So, I went to rehab. I learned even more skills from even more amazing people that were better at the game than me. And I still was not sure of my identity. And so one time, I got out and I still explored for a few more years and played that game. until something inside of me snapped and said, who are you? Who are you really without all these labels? Without all these pills? Without all these stories? So I got sober. No more drugs, no more alcohol, no more pills, no more bipolar. But after years of pharmaceuticals and coming off a 10-year addiction of Adderall and Xanax, high-low, 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 I was in this complete brain fog, just stuck, zombie, like, who am I now? How do I function? It had been 25 years since I'd functioned, so I was just paralyzed at that age. And I'm walking through a flea market of all places, 3 months sober. Doo-doo-doo. See a table full of crystals. Doo-doo-doo. All of a sudden I hear this voice behind me. I don't normally do this, but whoever just died wants to give you a message. Do I have your permission? I'm thinking, what do I have to lose? Of course. She said, whoever just died wants you to know that you're on the right path. Keep going. This really hit me like a ton of bricks because my stepbrother had just died at the age of 42 of cancer, and my grandfather had just died. So I wanted to know which one was haunting me, which one was congratulating me, which one was cheering me on. So I made an appointment with this amazing psychic and went back the next day. She said, you know, you're supposed to be an herbalist. I said, what the hell's an herbalist? All I knew was the world of pharmaceuticals. So I went home and Googled it. Pharmaceutical. Sorry. I went home and Googled it. Herbalist. All kinds of stuff was happening, but nothing in Southwest Florida. There was either New York or Oregon. And at this point in my state of brain fog and confusion, I just dropped to my knees and I looked up and I said, what are you trying to tell me? I don't understand. You need to be blunt. Up on my computer screen, shamanic herbal apprenticeship. Okay. So I fill out the application, send it off. Call the woman the next day. She said, you have to mail the application. I said, oh, well, that might be a challenge. She said, where are you? I said, Florida. She said, when do you want to start? I said, on the 19th. It was the 5th of this month. So she said, fine, fax it, and I'll interview you tomorrow night. I did. She calls me the next night and says, wow, why do you want to do this? I said, I'm not really sure. I was guided to you. You have a lot to learn. You can't even spell my name right. You're going to cry every single day. Okay? There's no refunds. Okay? Only 30% of the women who show up here actually graduate. Most run screaming and crying, and again, there's no refund. I said, okay. So can I come? She said, fine. Within 2 weeks, I was on this woman's doorstep in the Catskill Mountains in New York. I showed up. She said, you stink. What is this stuff you're wearing? Go wash it off now. And showed me where my room was. My room was in this little house from the 70s in the front of the hall. I walk in, and on this entire wall, there's a vagina the size of that square. There's a woman sitting there, wide open, rainbow vagina, crystal. Spider webs everywhere, dirt everywhere. I walk in the shower, it's yellow. She said, by the way, the plumbing sucks. You get 1 shower a week. Don't worry, sweetie. Country dirt's nothing like city dirt. I said, okay. I'm not sure what the hell I got into, but it just took me 3 days to drive here, and I just spent a lot of money, and okay. So one of the things she taught us was talking stick, how to listen and how to speak so that everyone feels heard. Every morning we have talking stick. and I learned a lot of stuff. But this particular morning, I walked up and I said, I'm going to apologize in advance today for being a bitch. I didn't sleep well last night. This woman looked at me. Fuck you! I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'm taking responsibility like you told me to. Why do you think you're going to be a bitch because you didn't sleep well? Well, my mom always told me I was a bitch when I didn't sleep well. She goes, well, guess what, sweetie? Mommy's not fucking here. You want to be a bitch? Then look me in the eye and say, I'm going to be a bitch because I choose to be a bitch. And fucking own it. And if you don't want to be a bitch, walk over there, meditate for 5 minutes, and come back with a new goddamn attitude. Who do you want to be? I was like, holy shit. I hugged her. For the first time in my life, somebody said, who do you want to be? Versus, this is who you are, this is who you are, this is your label, this is your story. For the first time in my entire life, somebody asked me, and I really had to think about that. Who do I want to be? Wow, that was impactful. That is magic, right there. So then I thought about it, and she said, and by the way, all that suicide, I know it's for attention. So I'm going to teach you how to kill yourself. Okay. And she did. So I went up on the mountain and I did exactly what she told me. Jennifer Stacy Kyle walked up on that mountain and laid down. And that bitch never got up. I died that day. I killed myself. It was awesome. I closed my eyes and I saw my body rot. I saw myself completely degrade. I saw the maggots eating me. I saw the flies come. They flew away with Jennifer and Jenny and Stacy and the story. They flew away with the bipolar. They flew away with the manipulation. They flew away with everything. Till I was dust. I was nothing but an empty seed. And then I heard her voice again. Who do you want to be? I wanted to be joy. I wanted to be love. I wanted to be laughter. So what does that look like? Well, every seed goes into a place of darkness, incubation period. So there I was on the side of a mountain in my incubation period. I slept in a teepee. I slept in a hammock. And I went up on a mountaintop and just kept thinking, who do I want to be? And the sun came in, and it was like a disco ball on the trees. And who was I? I was dancing with the trees. I was having a dance party. It's awesome. Who do I want to be? Joy, laughter. What does that look like? And I kept hanging out with those trees, just trying to figure out in this incubation period, who is joy, love, laughter? And then it would rain. I would get naked. And I would dance in the rain with these trees. And I would climb trees naked. And I spent all this time where I showed up freaked out about spider webs and dirty water. I spent most of my time naked on the side of a mountain, trying to figure out who I am. And during one of the classes that this woman taught, there was about 75 people there. And like most of the time when I was there, I wasn't present at the time. When I showed up there, I didn't even know what being present was. And I was laying there underneath this willow tree, meditating. All of a sudden, the spirit came to me. She said, do you remember me? And I looked up. I'm like, oh my God, I do. I remember swinging off your branches as a child into the lake at my grandparents' house. She goes, yeah, remember how happy you were? How free? How loving? You still embody me. And just like me, you bend and flow, and you do not break. You've gone through so much, always embodying me. And you've learned so much. Take my name. And that's where Willow came from. And then I had to figure out, okay, I'm not going to have a middle name because I'm not going through that again. But unfortunately, you still kind of have to have a last name. So, what is my last name going to be? Who do I want to be? And she looked at me and she said, who do you want to be? I said, love. And that's when she waved her arms and the greenery of her leaves spread. And she said, your heart chakra. And that's where Willow Green was born. And that's who left that day. So I am Willow Green because I choose to be. You have a choice. Who do you want to be?